Hello there, my name is Jimmy Wikman, and on my channel here I talk about my passions, which are ways of working and of course Atlassian. And Atlassian is the topic that I would like to talk about in this video, and because I want to dive into Asset again. I know a lot of you are liking Asset and you are enjoying the videos I put up for Asset. So in today's video, I'm going to focus on how we can use the triggers and the automations to create new assets from a workflow, and also how we can create Jira tickets the other way around from when you are creating assets. And finally, also how we can actually capture the changes that are happening in assets also is reflected into the tickets. But enough talk, let's just jump into Jira and to Asset, and let's make some magic happen. So here we are now in my test instance, or it's actually my personal Jira here. And so as you can see here, I have created a little bit of a demo setup here. So I have a demo schema named demo. And I've also done a schema tree here. So the main schema that we will be using is the demo users. So I'm going to create new users here and I will update the users. And I also have some information about team organization, departments, and roles, so we can populate those. Need to check the attributes. I've also connected these to a few other, so regions, emails, and these are external schemas then that I have connected to this one. And for this one to work, there is one specific field here called linked issue, and that is because I have a custom field also with the same name. And that custom field is a read-only field. So I'm doing this one because I want to try to connect the asset with the Jira ticket or the Jira work item, so they cannot accidentally be disconnected. So that is the reason why I have this one here. And we're going to use a regular Jira board for this one. This one is just a demo project I've created. And I'm using the Kanban view for this one. And as you can see, I've just cleaned this one up so it's empty and nice, just like our schema here. And then we have a few automations here. So the ones that we will be using is if we have a work item and that goes into a workflow, then we can create something from that one into assets. And we can also have, so we can have the other way around. So if a work item is, if an asset is created, then we can also create a work item based on that one. So anytime someone creates a new new asset, then it will create a ticket or a work item also in Jira. This can be good, for example, if I want to make sure that I am on top of what is happening in assets. And it can also be if you are getting, if you have an integration, for example, and if the content that you're bringing in is incomplete, maybe you want to trigger that one so someone goes in and fill in the missing fields. We also have one that will update the work item if asset is updated, and this is where we have those connections between that linked issue field on both sides. And I have to have a stupid check here to prevent that field from being changed, because for some reason I cannot update the values in a read-only field. So I cannot actually use that one, I cannot use that one to populate another field. So there is some kind of limitation there that seems a little bit stupid. But these are all the automations that we need for this one. So if we go into the first one, so if you look at what happens when you create something in asset and that one generates a work item, then the first thing that we need to do is to use the trigger called object. So this is a trigger that will only work with assets. And all triggers that are of this type have to be global. So if I do this, then anytime you have an object trigger, it has to be global. I'm not really sure why this limitation is there. That you cannot create this directly from in the Jira project. You have to go to the global automation to create these. And once you have created that trigger, you will see that you have 3 different options. So you will actually have created, updated, and deleted. I think these are self-explainable. So one is obviously when you create an asset, one is when you update an asset, and one is when you delete an asset. And I wish I could show you how you can actually get notified. For example, if I have 10 tickets that is linked to an asset and someone deletes it, it would be nice if I could actually fetch that and add a comment to them, for example, saying this asset has now been deleted. But there's some kind of bug for this one, so you cannot actually fetch any information from the asset because the automation triggers after it's deleted and you don't have access to any data. So I'm going to have a chat with the automation people and with asset people to see if this is a bug or if there is something that I just have missed for this one. But for this one, what we want to do, we want to create a work item on asset object creation. So when we create an asset, I also want to create a ticket for it. So the first thing that we do then is connect this one to the schema. So in object here, we will have the schema. So if I look at, these are all the schemas. We have one called demo here. And this is the one that we want to connect to. So in the automation, this is what we are now first connecting to. Then I want to say what kind of target do I want to have, and if something is being created where. So then we need to have the object type for this one. So the object types would be then the demo users. So in the schema, we have the object types, and this would be the demo users. If something is created within this object type, I want to have some triggering. So I want something to happen then. So what we're doing then is we do an AQL condition for this one, and we select object. We have the object type equals demo user. So this is the one that we are then fetching the trigger from, saying if something is created in this schema, in this object type, then do something. And for us, what we will do then is we will go into the project and we'll create a new work item of the type task, and I want to set an object name, object description. So this is the first thing I want to do. And the second thing I want to do is that I want to edit the object. So after it has been created, I want to edit the object. And I want to then have the linked issue that I have in the schema here. This one. I would like to have this one populated with the created issue key. So once we're creating this one, we have access to the key for this one. So the name and number from the created here. So I want to fetch that one, and then I want to input that one into that field in assets. So if we have done this correctly now, I should be able to go in here and I should be able to create a new object. And we should see that this will then trigger a new ticket that shows up here in the backlog. So let's try it out. Like that, demo create object in asset that trigger a work item creation. And I don't need to fill anything in here because I want to update that one later on. So I will just click on create this one, and I will automatically very quickly get an object being created here. And you can see I have all the information and it is blank now. So the name is just the same as the top one there. And then the rest then is non-selected. So if I go now to the backlog here, now you will see that I have now a new ticket. If I go to the rule here, you will see that I will have now the object has been checked, and I will have it has been created, and it will then create it, and it will also be updated here. So if I go into this one, you will now see that I have my demo user field here, and this one will now have the information, and it will be the same. And this is now where we have the linked issue, which is the same as we have here. So this is now working as intended. It will now create new work items based on the information I have in the asset here. So this is the first thing, and I think Let's see if I can close this one. And you see it is also linked here, since we have this one now connected to the asset through this demo user field. So this is the first step. So before I move on, in case someone need to see how did I create this one, let's just jump very quickly over. I have another video for it, how you actually use these ones to create them. But if you just go over to work items, I need to have the sidebar for this one, and I would like to have fields. And what was it called? It was called demo user. And you can see it is of the type asset objects. And I would like to go to context, I think. And if I show you how this one is configured, it is similar to the other videos I've done. So basically what you're doing is you're selecting the object schema. So again, you are going back here then to the object schema. And then you have a filter scope, and you might notice that this is the same thing that we actually have in the automation. So the filter scope here now is also in, we want to have the object type of demo user. And the display I want is just the name. So that is in this one, this is what we're actually seeing here. So this is where you can actually decide if you want to have more here or less. And I also have, so you can only store one for the purpose, but you can, I have a different video for how you're creating these fields. And while I'm here, let's also take a look at the field I will be using to connect them to the linked issues that we have here in the object schema. So the one here. So this one, I'm actually connected to two fields. So you have actually the asset ID read only and the asset ID. So this one is a text field, so the read only is a text field, and the way I would like to be able to use it is to only have this one. But since you cannot actually use it the way I want it because there's a query restriction on it, so I cannot actually read from it or update it, I have to use a double whammy. So I have to have two fields for it. And as you can see in here, they are now outputting now asset ID read only. So this is the ID of the object that we have been created. So this one that we have created, you can see up here, object ID 430. So this is the one that we are fetching and we're putting in that one. And this is how I would like to have it. So you cannot actually change it and accidentally add something else in there, because then it will actually break. So I can actually add something here. Let's see. So I just there we go. And if I do that, now it would have broken it. But as you can see, let me do that again. If I do this, you will notice that it will automatically revert here now. There you go. And that is because we have another automation here. So this is the stupid extra check to prevent field from being changed. So the only thing this one does is it checks if you have any changes to that field. And then you actually will fetch it then from the asset ID read only. So if you make any changes to this value, it will revert back to that one automatically. And this is only a way to prevent that this one will actually be wrong, and when we want to use it in the automations later on. So this was now a very long way to describe that we have created now a new, maybe I should do this and say, so we actually have created now a new object here, and we can see that this is the information that we have for it. And the next thing that we want to do now then is, if I go back to my rules again here, I would like to have update work item if asset is updated. So what we are doing here then is we're doing the same thing as we did with the other automation. We are checking, first and foremost, we are starting instead of created, we are starting it with the updated version. This one we are now selecting then to the demo schema. So again, the demo schema. And then we are doing object type, and we do an object, and we check that one for demo users. So we have the object type here. And in this case, we're also doing making a check then to see that the status here has actually been updated. There has actually been a change, so we can actually verify that. And then we need to do a branch for this one, so it will actually loop through everyone. And what we're doing then is we're looking for an asset ID equals object ID. And this is where we're now using this one, this field. So we are looking now and saying that based on the object ID that I have, this field, look for the one that is called 430. And if it has been updated, then change these two values. So name and description, these are the two that we're looking for the name and the description. So this one. So if I update these, then update also the Jira issue, or the work item in this case. So this is all it does, and you can do more with this one if you want to add a comment or anything like that, or even sending out events or whatever else you want to do. So let's try this one and see if we change the description here, for example. So today we have no description on this one. This one here, it's empty. So if I add a description here now in the asset, and maybe spell it a little bit better, like so. So now that we have updated the description here, we will also see that in the rule here, it will have said that let's find the correct work item that is connected to this one, and then we will edit it. And in the issue, you will now see this is an updated description. If I do that again, if I add something else here, with more details, and we will see again here then a new one will show up here. It will now say that we have updated everything, and if I update this one, you will see now it will update here automatically. And I can even change then the name of this one. So if I want to change this will now be Timo with short name. You can check the automation again. We'll see that it is successful. And we'll see that this is the correct one that has been updated. And if we update this one, and if we go to the ticket itself, we will now see that this one has changed as well. Now, I do not have any automation the other way around, so if anyone is interested in showing how that works, you can update the ticket or another field, and that will trigger down. Then we can show an automation for that one as well, but it's basically the same thing that you have for the other rules here. Let me just go to, so it will be basically the same thing that we have here. So maybe we can move over to this one then. So this is one when we are creating new things. And so when we are creating a Jira Service Management ticket in this case, then we have an approval step for it. And once it has been approved and it moves to closed, then we will trigger also, so this one will actually create a new asset from it. So this can be great for many different purposes when you are working in IT support, for example. So if you want to register something in the assets, if you want to add more data to it, then you can use this in the workflow and you don't have to go into asset to do it. So for this one, we have the trigger here is when the work item is transitioned. It says when it goes for waiting for approval and goes to closed, and you can have any transition you want. Then first we want to do a lookup so we can actually fetch the information, and we can use that one later on. So again, we are selecting the schema, so demo again. And we are also saying that we want to use an AQL query, so towards asset. And in this case, let me see if I can show a little bit more of this one. So we want to have object type demo users again. So this is the same. And we want to do this only when the name is the same as the reporter in this case. So in this case, I want to save the user. And this one can be any custom field if you want also, if that is what you prefer. Or you can have a custom field that says different object types names, or if you want to have this is any text field, anything basically that you want to use, you can have that one. And you will just want to connect this one then to name. That one will again be this field, the indexed field here. And when we have done that, when we have looked that one up, so we can actually get all the information if that one exists. So then what we will do is we will first look at the size of this lookup object. So if I'm looking up something with my name, for example, and if it returns 0, meaning that it doesn't exist, then don't do anything from it. Sorry, if it is 0, then create it. Sorry, the opposite. So if it is 1, or that is actually any data there that Jimmy Wikman already exists, then don't do anything. But in this case, if it is blank, then continue. And then what you will do then is create an object in asset here. And you want to use then the schema demo again, this one. And you want to have the object type, demo users. And we want to set then a new object with the name reporter display name. So in this case, it would be Jimmy Wikman for me if I'm the reporter. And then what we want to do then is we want to connect this one then with the custom field that we have. So it would be then this field here, demo user. We want to connect this one because it will be blank when we create the work item or the Jira ticket. So we want to, once the asset has been created, we want to also connect it here. So for this one, let me move over to the JSM demo project. And let me create a new ticket for this one. So I will just use a incident for this one perhaps. This is a ticket, obviously. And then if I want, I can put some text in here. The reporter is the one that we are targeting now, so this is my name. I can assign it to myself. And this is basically the only thing I want to use. This field will only have demo with shorter name right now, because the only one I can select. And this one I don't need to select for this purpose. So when I create this ticket here now, we'll see that nothing actually happens. The demo user will be blank. If I go to the object schema and refresh, nothing happens here. It will just be one person here. So, sorry, I had to change because the workflow was now connected to just emailed request, and now I updated and fixed it. So let me continue with the demo, and sorry about the disruption there. So let's first move this one is to waiting for approval. And now I need to set an approval first. Add an approval. Oh, did I accidentally remove myself? That doesn't matter. And now when I approve this one, it will automatically then close this one. And I have now, as you remember in the rule builder here, when it goes from approval to closed, and then this automation will trigger. So if we approve this one, it has now moved to closed. And we should now see that this one now, there we go. Now we have this one populated automatically. And if I go to the object schema here and I refresh, I will have now a new user here with my name here. So this, what happened there was now, when it went here and looked this one up. It looked if there was someone with my name, so the reporter's name. It checked, is it there or not? In this case, it was not there. So this one was done true. So this one equals true. So then it created a ticket here with the name in the object here with my name. And then it added it then to this field, reporter display name to name. And then it ended up here. And then I now have a full connection here. So with that, you now know how to create a Jira ticket or a Jira work item if someone creates a new asset. You can also create new asset from a work item or a JSM ticket. And you can also now update values in a ticket if something has changed in assets. So I hope those scenarios were useful for you and that you have many bright ideas on how you can use them in your own work. If you are enjoying these asset videos, then please subscribe to the channel and let me know what kind of other mad things that you want me to create for you. Asset is something that I enjoy working with quite a lot, and I like making videos for it, but I need some input from you on what kind of challenges you're facing, and so I can see if I can actually make them happen, make videos for them. So that was all for today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and the only thing that I think remained for me to say in this video is that I hope that you have a great day and awesome week.